Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And now that we know when the next uncarrier announcement will be, I'm sure a lot of you are trying to figure out what that announcement could possibly be. What possible frustration in wireless is T-Mobile going to take on now? What could possibly be the next uncarrier move? And as we speculate about that, I wanted to add in a few points and some facts on why they could possibly be doing this and what could lead them to want to do another uncarrier move. We have to look at the numbers. T-Mobile is outgrowing their competition by a lot. And they're enjoying a lot of success, and they have been recently enjoying a lot of success. They told us in 2026 and 2027 they're upping and raising their guidance again, which would lead one to believe that they're very complacent, very comfortable, and they can just lay back and enjoy success. When with this announcement, T-Mobile could be doing the complete opposite. So there was a poll that I put out on X, and if you haven't followed me there, a link to that will be in the description, where I stated, or I put as a question, will the new CEO of T-Mobile be proactive or reactive? And as I said in the video earlier, he's clearly being proactive by announcing a move that could be industry leading before AT&T and Verizon make any change. So here are a few things that I want to point out. Up until it changes, T-Mobile has a clear mindshare advantage, and it's growing. And by that I mean they're continuing to gain mindshare in the consumer market and on business, where companies are saying, hey, we need to look into T-Mobile. The consumer is saying, hey, we need to go into a T-Mobile store. We need to call T-Mobile because they have great deals, and I see they have a better network. That's what I've seen recently. I've had the most average consumers reach out to me locally, coworkers that don't know that I run a YouTube channel, and they're telling me, "Hey, I just switched to T-Mobile. I saved $100. I switched from AT&T. I switched from Verizon. I saved $100." So that's mind share, and when you gain mind share, you gain word of mouth. People talk. They say, "Hey, I went to T-Mobile." And that's how T-Mobile continues to grow and be a well-oiled machine, as some might say. What I do think they need to do, or the new CEO needs to do with this announcement, he needs to send a clear, decisive message to Verizon and AT&T. He needs to tell them, or signal in that message, that we are still going to make industry-leading change. And if you guys decide to make any disruptive moves to our business in the new year, we will respond and we will one up you. That's the message he needs to send. Because that message will have AT&T and Verizon again keep them on their toes and have them reevaluate what they're going to put out in the market in the beginning of the year. We already know Verizon is going to put out something new. That's not something we have to speculate on. We know it's coming. We know that's coming. We just don't know what it is at this time. But they told us at the last quarterly earnings they're going to make change. And I think that change is going to lead AT&T to have to make change. You guys have heard me say I think they're going to compete differently in 2026. But more of that is based on them having all that capacity that they just announced in the press release this morning. So that's the message I think the new CEO needs to send. He needs to say, I'm here to still be a scrappy competitor, even though we went from challenger to champion. I'm still here to compete. I still have more mind share to gain in the business segment, and I still want to grow there too. And then, to top it off, with the clear message, the 4,000 new site builds that are going into the network, the 3,000 US cellular site integrations will allow thousands of businesses to join T-Mobile, and it will allow T-Mobile to go after thousands of new businesses that previously they may have not been able to gain because of this new coverage expansion. So all of this is just, I mean, it's coming together sort of like a puzzle. The US Cellular deal closes in August. The new CEO starts November 1st. Now we already have the first uncarrier announcement. For those of you who've been following the channel, I said the new CEO needs to announce a new fiber deal within the first 6 months of him being in charge. I think all of this is going to start lining up, which is crazy. And while T-Mobile is going to be very focused and busy on loading up the network and continuing to grow its base, one thing I said in the video where I addressed the new CEO, he needs to be very transparent with this new uncarrier announcement. We don't need another, oh, we're going to lock your price for 5 years, but we're going to raise fees. That's one of the biggest frustrations in wireless today, I feel, is there's too many price increases, and pricing is too elevated for the consumer's liking. And that's why I think T-Mobile is able to intercept a lot of those jump balls, because they can still present a cheaper deal across the board. If it's a free line, if it's an insider discount, whatever it may be, if it's 4 lines for $25 and all phones on us, T-Mobile is still the better deal overall, which presents a better value to the customer. I had 2 people message me in the last 2 weeks. They said they switched to T-Mobile and each of them saved $100 over AT&T. That is still a big deal. And when you have mind share, and when you are as good at marketing as T-Mobile is, that is a big advantage to have, because even though that same customer could have gotten a better deal at AT&T perhaps by going to a lower plan, they ended up still choosing T-Mobile and going with T-Mobile and pulling the trigger. Because there's several steps to that, right? You have to go into a store, you have to seek out new plans from T-Mobile, you have to pay the taxes and fees up front on the devices. All of that has to happen during the switch. And that's another pain point that T-Mobile could possibly solve, where you no longer have to pay taxes and fees up front when you switch. It's possible, right? It's very possible, because I've had people tell me that's a pain point as well. But again, there's so many pain points that could still be solved. So it's kind of an unknown what they're going to do or what they're going to announce November 20th. So yeah, those are some of the points that I wanted to point out as we head into this uncarrier move, right? I wanted them to be very transparent, send a very clear, decisive message to Verizon and AT&T, and try and grow the mind share. As they continue building out and growing the network scale and size, they need to load it up, right? Because that's going to be new coverage, new capacity. There's more FWA that needs to be sold, more business customers, small, big, of all sizes, that T-Mobile can continue to get, and they need to go after it. And I think under his tenure, starting November 1st, this first uncarrier announcement from the new CEO is going to be the most important one out of all of them, in my opinion. He wants to unleash the uncarrier. He wants to bring his expertise into this U.S. market coming from Europe. So we're all tuned in, and we're all going to see what T-Mobile announces on November 20th. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel for more. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.